Welcome again to P&L Coaching Expert YouTube channel. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe on the red button on this video. We are continuing our chat about fear, and today specifically we're going to talk about the fear of uncertainty. Larry.
Yes, indeed. The fear of uncertainty does certainly strike a lot of folks out there. So we're going to break it down a little bit. We're going to specifically talk about some of the reasons of why you fear uncertainty, and then we'll roll into some of the things you can do about it and some of the things to avoid as well. So let's get right into it, Priscilla.
Okay.
So first of all, there's really 6 reasons why you fear uncertainty. The first being that the fear of uncertainty is the act of worrying about something that's going to happen in the future. And it's really all about fearing an unknown future, I guess is a better way to put it. Secondly, you may have limited experience in a certain area, and that may create some fears of uncertainty as well. Thirdly, you can be uncertain of outcomes. So outcomes that may result of an action that you take. And fourthly, you certainly can lack the knowledge, the skill, or the wisdom for any sort of certain type of endeavor that you're trying to complete. Certainly can create some fear of uncertainty. And number 5, you might not have the necessary support, Priscilla. At times we get into these areas where we might not have a lot of support for an endeavor that we're about to take on, and that could create some fear of uncertainty. And finally, Priscilla, we sometimes don't ask ourselves enough solution-focused questions in order to get to the point where we're prepared for that future. So now, listen, there are benefits of uncertainty. That's the good news, and it certainly helps. A benefit really is that uncertainty helps you grow and develop. It actually keys you, triggers you to go out and develop the skills, the wisdom, the knowledge necessary to approach any of your endeavors. So, and secondly, it really helps you to build your coping and management skills as well. So the more uncertainty and unknowns that you can get comfortable managing, the better off you're going to be and the more confidence you're going to have going forward. So what can you do to prepare for uncertainty? Well, let me just run through a few of them. First of all, embrace uncertainty. Okay, that's one of the very best preparation methodologies you could use. So instead of resisting it, just learn how to proactively manage it. Embrace the not knowing. Certainly this can give you the impetus needed to go ahead and develop and yourself to learn and to develop. So ask yourself a few questions. How is the need to know affecting your life? Why do I need to know what's hiding around the corner, and how can not knowing be beneficial? Build strong support networks. This is really important. Go out there and learn from peoples, develop some friendships, develop some collegial groups and advisory councils or whatever that might look like. This could really help you. Invest in yourself. Look, when you're fearing the unknown, a lot of the times it's because you just don't feel prepared for the endeavor that you're about to embark on. So invest the time, the research, invest the education. Do these things, and you'll feel more prepared, and that will remove some of that unknown, that fear of the unknown. And listen, manage your stress levels. I can't stress this enough. Whether you do that through yoga, meditation, certainly personally, I do it through exercise. It's a great help. You can do other things like visualization techniques. You can do, some other forms of exercise, but really try to consciously manage and control your level of stress. It's going to help you a lot. Also, listen, really important, live for today, because the fear of the unknown cannot exist in this moment. It can only exist in the future.
Yes.
Okay? So how to create, let's pivot a little bit. So how do we create certainty? Well, first of all, let me quote, and this might be off a couple of words, but Abraham Lincoln said, you know, it's too difficult to predict the future, so just create it instead. I love that because it really does play well into this whole methodology of fear. Prepare yourself in advance. Ask yourself what could potentially result from making this decision or taking this action. You know, and ask yourself in advance when you're on any endeavors, how will I respond to those circumstances? Okay, so that creates certainty in your life. And let's, you know, the next part I want to talk about is, you know, and certainly sounds negative, but it's very worthwhile. Plan for the worst. You know, there's an old saying out there, plan for the worst, hope for the best. Well, it really does come into play here. So you could really ask yourself some questions like, what is the worst that could happen if I take this action? What is the worst that can happen if I don't take this action? You know, ask yourself these really thoughtful, soul-searching questions. Be very specific and consider the roadblocks as well. So you might want to say to yourself, ask yourself, what could prevent me from taking action? And how will I overcome those obstacles? Okay. Also, expect the best. Cultivate optimism and expect the best. Ask yourself, and I've jotted down a couple questions here. What are the possibilities? What are the opportunities? What could work in my favor if I took these actions? Create plans of actions. If you put down in writing and you create an actual action plan, this will remove a lot of uncertainty, a lot of unknowns of future events. Please do so. Please do that today. Find something that you're working on that you're worried about. Put an action plan together. Focus on short-term solutions. Like I said, you can only have unknowns and uncertainties in a future time. So if you want to focus on short-term solutions, this gets you working on the today stuff, the for-the-moment stuff, and this keeps you present. And so those uncertainties and those things, those ugly beasts, you know, hiding around the corner just aren't there because you're working on the present. Focus on what you can control. Okay, so listen, ask yourself, how do I feel I need, why do I feel like I need to control this? And how can not being in control be beneficial? Those are some tricky questions, but really ask yourself those things. Now, finally, let's move positively into uncertainty. Okay, so how do we do that? The best thing to do to help you in this exciting journey of uncertainty is take immediate action on anything that you're doing. Expect the unexpected. Consider different perspectives. Ask yourself during this journey and ask others, how would other people perceive this? What could they do in my situation? Consider other different perspectives. What must I do to keep moving forward? What have others done to keep moving forward? And finally, things to avoid at all cost when dealing with the fear of uncertainty. Avoid the destructive self-talk and the self-destructive thoughts. You know, avoid obsessing about the unknown. Oh my goodness, there's so many folks that are guilty of doing this. Listen, we've all been there. Avoid worrying about what you cannot control. Remember, and a lot of our course content talks about that, is we control our reactions to them. We can't control every action that's happening out there, but we can control how we react to them. Avoid reacting emotionally to sudden changes. Okay, you can respond in productive or destructive ways, so keep the emotional quotient very level. Avoid trying to play it safe. Listen, take some calculated risks. You're gonna have to learn how to overcome any obstacles that may be presented, and that's what we help you with. And so don't try to play it too safe. And finally, avoid resisting change. Okay, change is inevitable. Let's all just admit it right now, and stop resisting change, and instead embrace the opportunity it brings your way. That's the fear of uncertainty. Priscilla, back over to you.
Thank you again for watching our video. Today I'm going to ask you a favor. I would like you to share this video with your friends and family. Thank you so much. See you in the next video.